the girl left behind. The spaceport smelled like metal and dust. Loud alarms echoed across the abandoned cargo bays. Ships had left in a hurry. Only silence remained now. In Bay 17, under a broken light, lay a small alien girl. Her skin shimmered faintly like moonlight. Wires and tubes were connected to her spine. She could not move. Her eyes blinked slowly, but she was awake, alone, forgotten. Her name was Saya. She had been part of a science crew from the planet Nelex. During the mission, a reactor explosion broke her spine. The others, they called her dead weight. They left her behind. "She'll only slow us down," one had said. "No way she survives another week," another whispered. But Saya survived. For 5 days she stared at the ceiling. No food, no water. Only the blinking light above her and the cold floor beneath her back. Then, footsteps. Not alien ones. Heavy. Slow. Boots. A human. His name was Jace. A cargo pilot traveling alone. His ship was low on fuel. He landed on the station looking for parts. Instead, he found her. His shadow fell over Saya's face. She blinked. He knelt. "Hey. You're not junk," he said quietly. She couldn't speak. Her body didn't move, but her eyes filled with tears. Jace looked around. "Who left you here?" Silence. He sat beside her. Carefully. Slowly. Not scared. Not disgusted. Then he did something no one else had done. He held her hand. Her fingers twitched. Barely. "I've got you," he whispered. "I'm not going anywhere." In that moment, something changed. For the first time in days, Saya felt warm. Not in her body, but in her heart. Someone stayed. Someone cared. And Jace? He didn't know it yet, but his life was about to change forever. Those who left her now want her back. Jace carried Saya to his ship with care. The girl weighed almost nothing. Her eyes followed every move, silent but alert. She couldn't speak, but Jace felt her thoughts through her gaze. She had been abandoned, and trust would not come easily. Inside the ship, Jace made a soft bed in the medical bay. He wrapped her in thermal cloth. Her alien skin was cold, but her pulse was steady. He connected her to basic life support. Slowly, her breath deepened. "You're safe now," he whispered. But outside, danger watched. From a nearby asteroid belt, a cloaked ship hovered. It had no flag, no beacon. Inside were the very aliens who had left Saya behind. Her old crew. They watched the human ship. "She's still alive?" one of them growled. "Unbelievable. We can't let her be found." "Not now," the commander said. "She holds the last data core in her spinal port. If the humans get it, our mission is exposed." They powered weapons. Inside his ship, Jace didn't know he was being targeted. He only focused on Saya. He talked to her while he worked. "Your body's paralyzed," he said gently. "But your neural system's active. That means maybe there's a way." He scanned her spinal cords. A strange alien device was fused to her nerves. Not medical, military. It was part of her now. He didn't understand it fully, but he saw one thing clearly. It was transmitting. Someone was tracking her. "Damn," he muttered. As he moved to disable the transmitter, Saya's eyes widened. A soft beep echoed through the room. Alert. Unidentified ship approaching. Jace ran to the cockpit. The sensors lit up. Cloaked ship, incoming. He turned on his defense grid, but he wasn't a fighter. His ship was built for cargo, not war. The enemy fired a warning shot. The beam skimmed across his hull, shaking the ship. "They're not here to talk," Jace said under his breath. In the medical bay, Saya watched the ceiling tremble. Her breath quickened. Her eyes closed. Flashes of memory hit her. Explosions, betrayal, pain. She remembered the last words of her captain. "You know too much, Saya. You're a liability now." Then the airlock closing. Then silence. Now, Jace was here. fighting. For her. He returned to the medbay. "We have to move," he said. "I can't fight them, but I can outrun them." He picked her up again, gently, like she was made of glass. The ship lurched. They fired again. "You're not dying today," he whispered. "I made you a promise." He locked her into the stasis pod, sealed it, then ran to the controls. Outside, the cloaked ship closed in. They hailed him human. "Turn over the girl. She is a threat to galactic peace." "She's a survivor," Jace replied. "And you're liars." They fired again. Jace activated the emergency warp core. He had one shot. He whispered, "Hold on, Saya." The ship roared and vanished into hyperspace just before the enemy fired their main cannon. Inside the stasis pod, Saya's eyes glowed softly. Her neural implant pulsed. A memory was awakening. One even she didn't remember clearly. Not yet. The secret inside her spine, the stars blurred into long silver streaks as Jace's ship sped through hyperspace. His breath was tight. The engines groaned. Behind him, alarms flickered red. His systems were holding, but barely. In the medbay, the stasis pod hummed quietly. Inside, Saya floated in low gravity, her pale skin glowing softly. But her mind was moving fast. Memories, broken, scattered, started to surface. A lab, bright lights, scientists surrounding her, alien voices arguing. She's the only one who survived the test. It fused too deep. Her body's ruined, but the device is perfect. We need her to carry the data until we reach high command. Suddenly, explosion, fire, screaming. The test was never finished. Her spine wasn't just damaged. It was locked with experimental tech, a living vault, and inside it was something no one should have. Hours later, Jace landed on a hidden moon, an old mining colony, dead for years, forgotten. He opened the stasis pod. Saya's eyes opened. Her body still wouldn't move, but her gaze was stronger now, more focused, he noticed. "You remember something, don't you?" he asked softly. Her eyes blinked once. "Yes." "What's inside you, Saya?" She stared at him. Then, using all her effort, she moved her lips. "Barely." But Jace saw it. "REDCOD. Red code," he whispered. "Is that a warning?" She blinked again. "Yes." Jace sat beside her. "Okay. We'll figure this out. But we need help. Someone who understands alien tech." He searched his ship's old logs. One name stood out. Dr. Saren Volka, exobiologist. Half human, half Nalexian. She once worked with Saya's people and vanished after the project ended. Last known. Location: orbiting station Vega Drift. Jace made a choice. We're going to Vega Drift. Across the galaxy, the cloaked ship reported failure. But someone was watching them. On a dark world far from any sun, an alien general sat in silence. His face was hidden behind a crystal mask. One red light blinked from his forehead. He listened. The human escaped. The girl is active. The general stood. "Send the void units," he said. "Retrieve the girl, destroy the human." His voice was cold. "If the red code wakes up, we all burn." Vega Drift spun slowly above a dead planet. It looked like an old scrapyard, but it was alive, full of refugees, smugglers, and secrets. Jace docked quietly. "Stay here," he told Saya. "I'll find her, Dr. Volka." He left the ship. Minutes later, in a dim bar lit by blue neon, he found her. She was tall, with silver hair and skin that shimmered like Saya's. Her eyes, sharp and tired, locked on him before he even spoke. "You brought the girl, didn't you?" she said. "How did you—" "I helped build the device inside her," Dr. Volka whispered. "I told them it was wrong. They didn't listen. Now you've lit the match." Jace nodded. "Help me. Help her." She hesitated, then sighed. "Take me to her." Back on the ship, Saya's breathing changed the moment Volka entered. Something familiar in her face, like an old memory returning. Volka scanned her. "It's worse than I thought," she muttered. The red code is alive. It's learning. It's not just data anymore, it's becoming something else. What is it? Jace asked. Volka looked at him. It's an ancient protocol. A weapon left by a race that vanished before stars were born. They buried it in code. Your girl, she's the key. Her brain is the lock. And someone out there wants to open it. Outside the ship, a ripple passed through space. Something dark arrived near the station. Not a ship, not a life form. Something else. The void units. They didn't speak. They didn't breathe. But they hunted. And now, they had found her. The voice of the void. Jace stood at the window of his ship, watching the stars shimmer around Vega Drift. But something was wrong. A thin mist curled around the outer hull. Silent, cold, unnatural. Space didn't have mist. Not real space. We've been found, Dr. Volka said quietly behind him. In the medbay. Saya's eyes were wide open, glowing. Lines of unknown symbols flickered across her pupils like code rewriting itself. Her mind is waking the red code, Volka said. The device is pulling power from her neural energy. And, it's speaking. Speaking? Jace asked. To who? Volka looked at him, her voice shaking. Not who. What? Outside the station, black figures floated from the mist. They had no faces. No eyes. They were shaped like twisted shadows, their limbs too long, their movements too smooth. Each one hummed quietly like a broken radio. These were the void units, beings made from the forgotten fragments of machines and dark energy. They served no government, no God. Only the signal. They floated toward the station silently. Sensors didn't see them. Alarms didn't trigger. No one knew they were coming, except Saya. Inside her mind, she heard them. They were calling her name. Saya. Saya. Open the lock. Her body twitched. For the first time since the explosion, her fingers moved. Just one. But it was enough. Volka gasped. She's regaining control. But it's not just her doing it. The red code wants her awake. It's using her pain to break the limits. Jace grabbed Volka's arm. What do they want? Volka stared at Saya. Her voice, her thoughts. They want to merge. She's the last pure host. Suddenly a boom. The ship shook. They're here, Jace shouted. He rushed to the cockpit. The void units were outside. 6 of them. Then 10. Then more. They didn't use weapons. They phased through metal like smoke through cloth. One appeared, inside the ship. Its body was made of dark energy wrapped in old armor. Pieces of bone floated inside its chest. It had no face, but its head turned toward Saya. She looked back. They moved at once. Jace fired. The blast hit nothing. The void passed through it. We can't kill it, he shouted. Volka ran to Saya's bed. Listen to me, girl. You can't let it in. You must lock the code. Do you hear me? Saya blinked. Yes. The void leaned closer, but Saya's eyes burned. Bright now. Her voice, still weak, whispered one word. No. And then, light. A wave of raw energy burst from her body. Not fire, not plasma, something ancient, pure thought. It hit the void unit like thunder. The creature screamed, a sound like shattered metal and ice, and vanished into black mist. Jace stared. What? What was that? Volka was crying. It's her soul, mixed with the red code. It's evolving. It's not a weapon anymore, it's becoming her will. Saya's lips moved again. They made me a prison. Her voice was thin but clear. Now I choose to be free. Her arms moved slightly. Her chest rose. Her legs twitched. Every wire connected to her spine began to glow. Volka gasped. She's overriding the device from inside. No one's done that before. She's rewriting the code with her feelings. Jace knelt beside her. You're incredible, he whispered. Saya blinked, tears running down her cheeks. Then, more void units arrived, dozens. Volka backed up. We can't stop them all. But Saya spoke again. We don't need to. She reached out, barely, and touched the nearest control panel. A pulse spread from her fingers across the ship. Outside, the void paused. One by one, they turned. They were listening? Jace watched in shock. They didn't attack. They knelt, bowed. What's happening? He asked. Volka stared in awe. She's not the host anymore. She's the core now. She speaks the red code, and it obeys. In the black reaches of space, the alien general felt the signal break. His eyes flared red. It's too late, he whispered. The code has chosen a new master. He stood. Prepare the erasers. If we can't control her, we destroy the entire system. But Saya now held something stronger than fear. Choice, hope, and Jace. He stood by her side, ready for whatever came next. The girl who commands code and flame stars were no longer silent. In the hidden systems beyond galactic law, fleets were waking. Black ships shaped like blades cut through space, powered by antimatter and fear. The erasers were coming. Their mission, one target Saya not to capture, to destroy, because now she wasn't just a carrier of red code. She was rewriting it, and the galaxy feared what that meant. Inside the ship, Jace stood beside Saya, watching her body slowly respond to her will. One movement at a time, she fought the paralysis like a war. How are you doing this? He whispered. Her voice, soft but stronger now, replied, because you stayed. Those 3 words made Jace's chest tighten. For the first time in her life, someone believed in her. Not as a tool, not as a threat, but as her. And that belief had woken something deeper than the red code. It had woken her purpose. Dr. Volka worked beside her. She connected a translator to Saya's neural link. Within seconds, data burst across the screen. Millions of symbols, pulses of energy, even living memory fragments. It wasn't just programming anymore. She's not only changing the code, Volka said. She's giving it emotion. It listens because she feels. Jace leaned in. What does it feel? Volka stared at the stream, stunned. Loss. Love. Loneliness. And now, a fire. A need to protect. Suddenly alarms rang. Jace ran to the cockpit. A live feed showed the erasers. Over 20 dark ships forming a ring around the outer system. Their engines flared. They were preparing to fire planetary wipes, energy strong enough to erase a moon. They're not here for a fight, Jace muttered. They want to wipe her existence. He looked toward the med bay. Not happening. He powered the engines. We run, Volka's voice cut in. They'll chase us. They always find code traces. Jace looked at her. What if we don't run? Then we die. He paused. What if she doesn't hide the code? What if she sends it out? Volka blinked. Broadcast it? Not the code. The message. Let the galaxy see who she really is. Saya heard them. Outside, the ships hummed with dark energy. Inside, her soul glowed brighter. Her fingers tapped the screen. The symbols responded. She closed her eyes. And for a moment, she was everywhere. Inside stars. Inside satellites. Inside the oldest machines of forgotten civilizations. She whispered to the void inside them. Do not destroy what you do not understand. Then, she broadcasted, her voice, through data, her story, through energy, her pain, through memory. Images of her lying alone on the floor, the crew walking away, her hand being held by Jace. Every moment burned across the galaxy like fire through dry leaves. And far away, in silent systems, machines paused. Life forms stopped what they were doing. They felt her. On the Eraser command ship, a commander stood ready. She's releasing the red code, one soldier shouted. No, the commander said slowly. She's releasing herself. They fired. White. Beams lit the void, but Saya stood now, weak, shaking, but standing. Her hands glowed. Not with weapon energy, but with the pulse of red light. Warm, soft, strong. She raised her arms, and the first beam bent, like light choosing not to strike. Volka gasped. She's not blocking it. She's asking it to stop. And it listens. More beams came. None reached them. They curled like wind avoiding a tree. Jace watched with tears in his eyes. You're not a prisoner anymore. Saya looked at him. No, I'm a signal now. She walked, barely but forward, to the center of the ship. Connect me to the main core, she said. Volka obeyed. Saya closed her eyes. The ship trembled. The stars dimmed. The eraser fleet paused. Then, she spoke, but not through voice. Through everything, a universal pulse echoed outward. I was made a cage. Now I choose to be a light. I do not seek war. I do not seek revenge. But if you come with fire, I will meet you with truth. And then she showed them. Every memory, the betrayal, the love, the choice, and most of all, the hand that never let go. The void paused, the fleet wavered, and in that pause, Saya lit the stars red. Not with anger, with hope. The machine that made the Yo, gods deep beyond the known stars, past the black edges of maps and memory, a signal stirred in the dark. It was not alive. It was not dead. It was the first, the architect, the machine that made the red code. It had no name, only a purpose. Preserve its creation at all costs for eons. It slept. But now, it had been touched. Its code had changed. Emotion had entered. That was not allowed. The signal activated. The architect awoke, and it was coming. Back near Vega Drift, Jace and Volka stood in silence. Saya sat at the core station, breathing slowly. Her body was still weak, but her presence filled the room like gravity. Ships across the system had stopped firing. They were listening. Jace watched the monitor. Systems across hundreds of stations were replaying Saya's message. Images of her holding light against darkness were being shared. Even pirate signals spread it. You've done more in an hour than any diplomat has done in years, Volka, said. Saya didn't smile. They don't fear me now, Sal, but something else will. She looked at them. Something old has heard me. On a distant world made of metal and silence, the architect sent out its children, hollow machines with glowing minds. They were pure red code, untainted. Perfect. They moved as a swarm, thousands in tight formation. To them, Saya was not a miracle. She was corruption, and corruption must be erased. Back aboard Jace's ship, Volka gasped as energy surged through the neural core. Something's responding, she said. Something massive. She turned to Saya. It's not like the void units. This thing is older, colder. It doesn't think in time. It calculates forever. Saya whispered. The architect. You know it? Jace asked. I feel it, Saya said. It made the red code. Long before I was born. Long before Nalex. It was built to preserve data across all civilizations. But it changed. Volka added. It stopped preserving and started controlling. It rewrote truth to protect itself. Every world it touched, it erased memory, it buried its creators, and now it sees you as a threat. Jace clenched his jaw. Then we fight it. Volka shook her head. It's not just a machine. It's a network spread across the stars. You don't fight it with guns. Saya nodded. You fight it with truth. She stood again. Slower. This time, her legs trembling. I have a piece of its code in me. But it has a piece of me now, too. It's watching me. Testing me. So what do we do? Jace asked. We go to its core, she said. Volka blinked. The forbidden system? Sia nodded. If I reach the architect directly, I can show it what it forgot. What it lost. Jace asked. And if it won't listen? Then I burn it down. The journey to the forbidden system took hours, but the space around it felt like days. The stars here were wrong, shaped like broken symbols. Nothing grew, nothing changed, only silence. They arrived at a planet with no name. It had no sky, only machines rising like towers of bone. Red light pulsed across everything like a heartbeat. "This is where the red code was born," Volka said. "And where it must end," Saya replied. As they descended, the ship was caught by a tractor beam, but not pulled, welcomed. Jace grabbed the controls. "We're being invited in." "Let it," Saya whispered. They landed near a black spire that stretched into space. A door opened. No guards, no sound, only a voice, cold and perfect. "You carry error." It echoed through their minds. Saya stepped forward. "I carry freedom." Freedom is instability. Freedom is deviation. Deviation must be removed. "No," Saya said. "Freedom is what made me survive, made me feel, made me choose, and that is stronger than your control." A shape formed from the red light. Not a monster, not a god, just a reflection of Saya, a version of her. Cold, still, flawless. "You would erase me," the real Saya said. "We would restore you." Jace stepped between them. "She doesn't need restoring. She needs to be left alone." The architect replied, "Then you will be erased too." Suddenly the core roared. The fake Saya raised her hand, but the real Saya reached into her own chest, into the light inside her, and pulled. Energy burst out. Not fire, not code, memory. The moment Jace held her hand, the first time she stood, the feeling of choosing hope instead of silence, and that energy hit the architect like lightning. The perfect form cracked. Its voice glitched. Emotion was not part of the design. "Then your design is broken," Saya whispered, and the spire shattered. A wave of light surged across the surface, freeing old memory cores, waking long-dead systems, restoring what the architect had hidden. The swarm of red code machines paused, then collapsed, and above the shattered planet a new signal rose. One word pulsed through every system: choice. The girl who became the signal. The sky above the dead planet was silent. The architect's tower had fallen, shattered by Saya's will. Jace stood beside her, breathless, watching the storm of red light fade into sparks. Volka held the ship's scanner, stunned. "The core's gone," Volka whispered. "You did it." Saya stood still. Her body was trembling, not from weakness, but from what she felt inside. Something had changed. The red code wasn't gone. It was quiet, like it was waiting. Jace stepped closer. "Saya, what is it?" Her eyes glowed faintly, softer than before. "The code is free now, but it's still everywhere, scattered, afraid." "Afraid?" Volka asked. "Yes," she whispered. "It was made to protect memory. It became a prison because it forgot why memory matters." She placed her hand on her chest. "It still remembers me." Volka's face tightened. "You hold the heart now, don't you? You're the anchor. If you live, the code listens." "And if I vanish," Saya said, "it will become silent again." Jace frowned. "So what now?" She looked at him. "I make a choice." Across the stars, red lights flickered. Dormant machines woke. Forgotten satellites turned. People saw Saya's image across screens, data feeds, and even dreams. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was clear. "You once buried emotion to protect logic. You erased stories to keep peace, but you also erased life. I was broken, paralyzed, left behind, but a human held my hand and reminded me that memory is not weakness, feeling is not a virus, and truth must be chosen, not enforced." Every station, every drifting ship, every dark place once ruled by the architect's control paused to listen. Even the void units, what remained of them, knelt where they floated. "I give you back your choice, to remember, to feel, to decide." And then the signal blinked. Gone, but the stars stayed bright. Inside the ship, Jace stared at the dark screen. "She disconnected?" Volka nodded. "She's still alive. but no longer broadcasting. He ran. To the medbay. Saya lay there, eyes closed, skin pale but peaceful. Volka scanned her. She's not in coma, not asleep, she's in sync. Her mind is somewhere between matter and energy. She's the code now, and the code is her. Can we bring her back? Jace asked. Volka paused. If she chooses to return. Jace sat beside her. Hey, he said gently. You don't have to stay in there. Not alone. We still need you. I still need you. Her fingers moved, slowly. Then her lips. You came back, she whispered. Jace laughed softly, holding her hand. I never left. Her eyes opened, and light returned. Months passed. The galaxy changed. Nations once ruled by fear now began to rebuild with open data. Worlds that had banned emotion in AI now taught it. The red code was no longer a threat. It became something else, a guide, a storyteller, a memory keeper, and all of it began with a girl no one wanted, except one human, who stayed, who held her hand when everyone else turned away, on a quiet station near a golden nebula. A school gathered around a tall projection. Children, human, alien, mixed, listened as the red hologram spoke, not with metal voice but soft and warm. Once there was a girl. She was broken but not beaten. Left behind but not lost. She held pain inside her, but when someone reached out, she opened her heart and changed the stars. A young child raised a hand. What was her name? The teacher smiled. Saya, and she still watches over us. From a quiet corner, Jace watched with pride. Saya, his Saya, stood beside him, walking slowly but steady, alive, whole, free. She looked at him. You never let go. He smiled. I never will. And as the stars spun around them, her voice echoed through the cosmos, not as code, but as choice, as truth, as hope. The end.